Hello, it is Christmas evening, and so it's December 25th. We have about 6 days left in the year, and I haven't done an end of the year reading vlog as I have previously. I think just because I've had various things going on, but I thought that we could finish out with the end of the year reading vlog anyway. It's not going to be the entirety of Christmas break as it has been before, but it will be a solid 6 days. And another thing is that I set my January TBR, and generally when I do that before the month is over, I just take stuff from that TBR anyway, especially if I have stuff from a previous TBR. But I've got so many things on that TBR that are time dependent on when I read them. So this is also going to be like Hercule. I put all my prompts I have left in Hercule in a spinning wheel, and that's how we're going to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our first book for the vlog. So let's go see what that's going to be. Well, but this funny story where I put something off my TBR anyway. I dug for that Raven Boys graphic novel. I know I have it. I dug for like 15 minutes. Then I gave up and picked up the library at Hellbore because this is also a July release. I know I'm not doing the release month things quite correct. I don't really care that much. But library at Hellbore, July release, and hopefully book 291 of the year. I'm gonna like watch a movie now and then go to bed, but I did want to talk about the first couple chapters of the library at Hellbore. I am not very far in. I just read about 20 pages, 17 pages. I love Cassandra Khaw. I love that I had to look up a word on the first page. Effluvium. Effluvium. Yeah? Is that what it was? Effluvium, yep. Which just means like discharge, basically. But she used it in like a general viscera way, but she just used viscera in the next sentence. One might say that she's going overboard, but isn't it fun? Like, it's fun. It's fun that she goes overboard. That's why I love Cassandra Cobb, because she goes overboard. I'm liking it so far. It reminds me a lot of Schoolmance books. I only read the first one. I want to read the rest of them. I like the first one. Naomi Novik. What was the first one called? It was. I know the Last Graduate was the last one. I'll look them up. I'll look them up. I'll look them up. I don't want to get rid of you like I did last time. What's the first one? School Mance. Naomi Novik. What was the first one? A Deadly Education. That's what it's reminding me of. Like a little bit too much, I think. I hope that the farther we get, the less like that it will be. But both the tone and the setting are reminding me a lot of A Deadly Education, which again, I really enjoyed A Deadly Education. So like that's not a bad thing, but like it's a little too close. But I think that's all I'm reading for tonight. It's like 7 p.m. I'm gonna watch a movie and then go to bed. But I did want to talk about this a bit. I miss doing just straight reading vlogs, man. Like I haven't done a straight reading vlog in so long. I mean, I guess I had like no, they were always when I finished a book every single time for everything, except for I guess that 24-hour readathon one. But that is that. I will finish this tomorrow. I've been doing about a book a day with one caveat: not on Christmas Eve. I did not finish a book, but for the rest of um Christmas break, I've been doing a book a day, so I will finish this tomorrow. It's also tiny. Hopefully the next book will not get taken from my January TBR, but at least this one wasn't for any separate challenges other than just being on the TBR. So that is good. I will talk to you later. Update before I hop in the shower. It's like 7:30. I am now about 60 pages into the library at Hellbore. Yeah, 60. Yeah, exactly 60. It's got me. It's got me. I love how many words I'm having to look up. She is going nuts with these synonyms for viscera, and I love it. I love it. I never have to do that. Like, as somebody who has been reading since they were 3 and reads hundreds of books a year, and like, I just have a very large vocabulary at this point. But oh man, she's finding words I don't know, and I love it. I understand where people would be frustrated with it because she is a little flowery. But for me, this is why I just love Cassandra Khaw. Cassandra Khaw is genuinely every single book I read from her, she becomes more and more of one of my favorite authors. I love her. I love her. It's great. It's great. I'm having a good time. It is also starting to differentiate itself in my mind from the Schoolomance, which is good. And again, I've only read the first the first Schoolomance book, but I think that at the beginning of this book and the beginning of Skullomance do really remind me of each other, but it's starting to differentiate itself. It is gorier. I mean, Skullomance is not exactly happy and clean, but this one is a bit gorier. The characters are different. The characters are in Skullomance the only real like bad guy is our main character. Not that she's a bad guy, but like the only real like innately evil one. But in this one, it's all of them. I'm loving it. Rowan, I like him. I like Rowan. It's great. I love um all the implications of Adam so far. I know I'm having a good time. Again, it's a very short book. I do think um that yeah, it's not even 300 pages long. I am realizing now that Cassandra Khaw, or maybe remembering, maybe I knew this, is non-binary. So I love them. I have a good time. Again, I should finish this today. It's very short. Christmas break is great for finishing a book a day. I will talk to you again when I have another update or when I finish it, or we'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'm still loving it. I'm loving it even more, possibly. Is this going to upset my top 10 of 2025? I don't know. I've read a lot of good books this year, but it might. She might hit, they might hit it 2 years in a row. um, I normally don't wear makeup during Christmas break, but some shirts I feel like I need the gothy makeup eye makeup, and my Nine Inch Nails shirt is one of those shirts. I am this far into the library at Hellbore that is going to be 82 pages in. I think what really hit me about the language is that this language is decadent for the sake of being decadent, and I'm eating it the fuck up. It's delicious. It. I don't think Khaw is as good as Poppy Zebright, but I think that Khaw can fill the hole left in my heart from the fact that Poppy Z. Bright only wrote like 6 books total. Really, honestly, full novels. I'm pretty sure he only wrote like 3 full novels. Like what, like Lost Souls, Exquisite Corpse, Drawing Blood. Are those the only 3 like full novels? I don't actually know. I haven't read Drawing Blood, but I've read Exquisite Corpse and Lost Souls. I read Lost Souls twice this year. It's my favorite book of the year. Anyway, Khaw is still actively writing and publishing like a book a year, and so I think that Khaw can fill the hole for me, and not quite entirely all the way. Some character choices that Bright makes are also what make his books so good for me. But Khaw can fill the language thing because Bright is also frequently decadent for the sake of being decadent. It's a very 90s grungy, crust punk, gothy kind of writing style that Khaw also has a taste for. I will say Rowan. Like, so Rowan is again like I think our main character Alessa describes him as emo grunge. Would it be accurate for emo grunge trying to push people away to use the phrase goth mommy a lot? Yeah. Do I like it? No. But I'm being comfortable with my discomfort, and I do still really. He's still endearing, but I'm just like, oh god, Rowan, stop. He's still very endearing though. I'm still liking it. Still loving it. I'm still loving it. That's where we're at. Again, I hope to finish before the end of the day. I feel like I will. It's so good. I'm having so much fun. Honestly, it's a fun time. Hello, we did just get back from the nearest Walmart. We had a gift card from Stephen's parents. So I was able to pick up some CDs. Just picked up a couple. They were all, I guess, all of them were 7.90. No, last one was 9.97. Two set for 7.97, one for 9.97. I wanted to include this in the vlog, even though it doesn't necessarily have to do with this book. Still loving it, by the way. But just because one of the things I'm going to be doing next year. I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast. One of the things I'm going to be doing next year are these vlogs chronicling like my 3 dumb shit purchases. We've talked about this, and so I'm going to literally talk about everything that I buy. That's not bills, I guess. But the 3 CDs I got, which I didn't technically pay for these, they were paid for by a gift card. I did want to show them though. We got Panic at the Disco's Vices and Virtues, Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe, and Avenged Sevenfold's City of Evil. So there's that. Now I got all these packages. So many packages. This first one, I believe this is another CD actually, if I am being real with you. It's about the right size. And I know I ordered a CD. Yeah, yep. Oh, I have so many CDs to put on my disc here. After my week in review. So I've got The Art of Losing by American Hi-Fi. This has obviously The Art of Losing on it. Very excited. I do enjoy that song. I'm gonna save this bubble wrap to next time I sell something on eBay, so I don't get another bad that back there. Another bad message. All right, so there's that one. This is a book. I actually just read a different book by this author. I buy his books off of TikTok Shop. I really, really enjoyed the other one. So I did pick up, holy shit, From Best to Bested by M.N. Bennett. Does come with a lot of swag and art. I'm not going to show you that because it's very not safe for work, probably. This is the one that I read. I read Bend Him Break Him. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But he does send it with all these great things. Oh my gosh. I really enjoyed the first book of his that I read. I'm excited to have another one. And I'm excited to have some more, like, bookmarks, basically, is what I use all of them for. Holy shit, that's a lot of them. I also have Crescentville Haunting. I want to get all of his books, to be honest, because I very much enjoy them. So, there's that. I also picked up a new reading journal for next year. I'm hoping that this one, I looked really hard at the, like, images that they give of it, because I've been burned before where I get a reading journal and it's just not what I'm looking for in a reading journal. I'd really like to get back into doing traditional reading journaling. Because I had a good solid couple of years that I was doing it. Kind of part of my next year's whole Be Less Lazy thing. I got this from Duncan and Stone. It looks fancy as fuck, honestly. Get all this stuff out of there. It is very kind of basic in terms of presentation, but it seems like it's got really nice quality paper. So it's got, what do we got here? Lists, so books completed, books to read. I'm never a big fan of books to read lists because maybe I'll put stuff that I want to pick up in there. That might be a good thing to do there. Book reviews. Now my reviews, I got title, author, started, finished, ratings, summary, quotes, reviews, what you recommend, and to who. I like that. I hope, and that's really what the rest of it is, which is what I'm. Oh, plus we got monthly at the back. We got some wrap ups, some monthly book count, and favorite book of the month, reading challenge, year in review. Yeah, you know what? This one will hopefully be a good one. I'm excited about that one. All right. Then I've got a bunch of thrift books, which should primarily be for the classroom. However, the last couple weeks, I did sneak in some for myself when I make orders for the classroom. So some of them may be for me. Like this one. This one is actually for me, but I'm going to reread it because I've read it before. I'm not sure if I can put it in the classroom. So I'm going to reread it and then we'll see. It might end up going in the classroom. So there's that. Right here, we've got, okay, all these are going in the classroom. Yep. So we've got Sweet Valley Twins, The Haunted House. We've got some Goosebumps. We got Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, Night of the Living Dummy 2, and Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Those are for some book clubs. So that's nice. We got another thrift books one. Is more Goosebumps. More Night of the Living Dummy 2, and Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, and then How to Fight a Girl by Thomas Rockwell. All to go to the school. And then, so this one is one of the bands that I've really been missing. Now that I don't use Spotify, is this one. So I did pick up a vinyl. Oh my gosh, it's sealed. I'm so excited. you may not know this, but I am a bit. Oh no, it's not sealed. It's just like protectively. Oh, is it? Oh, it is. Can be a bit of. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Anyway, I can be a bit of a industrial freak. So this is Throbbing Gristles 20 Jazz Funk Great. So this is their best album. I enjoy DOA, but there's nothing like 20 Jazz Funk Greats. Oh, it's great. Persuasion is great. What is this? That's cool. Hell yeah. Persuasion is probably the most disturbing song that I've ever heard, quite frankly. I love 20 Jazz. It's a great album. It's a great album. Um, it's a very particular album, so you might not like it, but I'm very excited to have it. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, the next one here is also thrift books, so it could very well be for the classroom. We'll see. It is, yep. It is Hot Mess, which is a Dive Won't Be Kid. Wonderful. And then this last one here is books, and I know these ones are for me. So, okay. We've got two here. We've got A Man Who Defies the World of BL by Koniki, Volume 1, and Nobody in Particular by Sophie Gonzalez, which I've made it more sapphic books. So I did pick that up. So yeah, that is my little unboxing there. Again, I do intend on finishing up Library of Hellbore tonight. I would love to. I'm about halfway through it. I think I totally could. Part of me kind of wants to savor it. Part of me also wants to just read it. So I guess we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that is everything. I will talk to you later. And goodbye. Hi. It is about 8:30. In the morning. I did want to update where I am here. I am 65% of the way through according to Storygraph. I'm like 180 pages in. My one complaint I think I'm going to have about this book is I think I'm going to want more. I already think I kind of do. I think that when this book ends, I'm going to wish that it was 500 pages long. It's not even 300. And there's so many little things I just want to know more about. Like, I've been comparing it to the Schoolmans. I would love it if this was a full series. Like, ending with whatever the hell we got going on here. Like, I understand why it's not, but I'm just having a lot of fun with it, man. Like, I'm taking it slow and I'm enjoying myself. I'll definitely finish it today, though. Like, for sure. Because there's no way. There's no way I'm not. You know, it's Saturday. It's Christmas break. I'm definitely not going anywhere. I might do a book in the bath instead of a shower this morning. Maybe that's what I'll do. Get a bunch more read. Hi. I finished the library at Hellbore. I loved it. Honestly. Like there were some moments like fucking Rowan's goth mommy, holy shit. But I loved it. I think that Ka is maybe not a perfect replacement for Bright in terms of the fact that I think they're gonna keep writing more books. And Bright is not, as far as I'm aware. But God, I loved the the messiness of it. I loved the slightly heavy-handed overarching theme. It was a little heavy-handed. I loved having to look up words. I loved how bloody for the sake of being bloody it was, but it was kind of beautiful at the same time. Ka loves writing a really not very kind female main character and loves just making them make friends. It's like you are gonna make friends and you are gonna like it by the end of it, even if they're all dead. Um, I did really like Rowan. I did. And yeah, no, I liked it. I loved it. Yeah, I think it might have fought its way onto my top books of the year list. I'm not making that list until December 31st. I never make it until December 31st because of shit like this. Um Then again, I have read a lot of good books this year, so it might not make it on my list just because I've read so many good ones. But I'm gonna go spin again, find another Hercule prompt, and then I'm gonna find my next book. So hopefully, like I have like 4 more days left of this vlog. I don't know how many more books I'm gonna be reading, but hopefully, it's one that I can get through relatively quickly so that I can read. I'm still, I don't think I'm gonna hit 300 at this point. To be completely real with you, that should say 291, I guess. But it is what it is. I'm gonna show you my spin, and then I will. I thought it was going to take me 10 years to find something. I found Zero Days by Ruth Ware. As I think I've mentioned before, I am really picky. I'm doing this alphabet thing right, so it's like the first letter of the first word of the title, unless it's an article. Um, so zero, perfect. Okay, I thought it was going to take me forever to find something, but I did. This is going to be my next book. It is a thriller, so hopefully it won't be too quick. Have I read any Ruth Ware? I read The Woman in Cabin 10. That's the only Ruth Ware I've read. So hopefully, this was actually a gift from one of my first fifth graders 2 years ago. So I'm finally getting around to it, but that is that. I don't think it's going to hit me as hard as Library at Hellbore. Just knowing how I react to thrillers and the fact that Ka is one of my favorite authors, but it should be a fun enough time. Hi, the mailman came. I have books to well, not all books. Some books to unbox. I am maybe 30 pages into 0 days. It's fine. Thrillers never really feel worth it to me, honestly. Like, there's a reason I don't buy very many straight thrillers because they're all very plot focused, and like I can enjoy them, but same reason, same kind of thing. I don't really like action movies all that much because like, where's the pizzazz? But variety of things here. First up, this is some books that I bought off of TikTok. Okay. This is a Mailman Romantasy duology. Oh, that's so pretty. That's a little like wax seal. That's adorable. Okay. So I open this bad boy up. I get stickers. Stickers for these I believe are for the book. These ones are just general reading ones. They're adorable. We've got bookmark. We've got art. Oh, not showing you. Did I show you that side? Did you see it? It's not safe for work. This is just a QR code. So I won't show you the other side because it is very not safe for work. And then here are the books. We got The Crown Breaker and The Broken King by T.B. Weiss. This is the Conquering Amoria's Magic duology. They are, of course, signed. They looked fun. They looked good. All right, this is, I believe, a CD that I picked up off of eBay. Oh my god. Okay, you don't have to seal it twice. That's like I understand that you're trying to be kind, but don't seal it twice. Okay. Well, it is a CD of The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. Now, every year around like uh I'd say around June, July, um, I have what I like to call Nine Inch Nails time, where the only thing I literally want to listen to during this time is Nine Inch Nails, more specifically the Downward Spiral. And now they don't have Spotify. Last year during Nine Inch Nails time, I did have Spotify. Now I don't. I only have one Nine Inch Nails CD. It's the broken one. It's not broken, but broken. But I needed the Downward Spiral, so here she is. All right, we've got Amazon package one. I do have two Amazon packages here. We've got The Roommate from Hell by Cale Dietrich. Cale Dietrich was one of the authors for If This Gets Out, which I enjoyed quite a bit. this looks fun. This looks fun. This kid's college roommate is a literal demon, which looks like a fun time. And then got this Amazon package. Oh, dropping it. Which is, oh yeah, I remember now. A circusy horror novel called One of Us by Dan Kaon or Chan, probably Kaon, Chaon, I don't know. Looked like a fun time. And then I did also do my Bones Coffee order for the year. Basically, every year I just make one giant order on Bones Coffee because then it just takes me the whole entire year to drink the entire thing. I've got like probably the equivalent of 2 full-size bags left between what I've got at the school and what I've got here. So I made a big one. And they were having a promotion where because I did a big one, I got both a 4-ounce bag for free and a mug for free. And I've been dying to get one of those mugs because they look so cool. But they're expensive. They're too. Maybe they're not expensive in the grand scheme of things, but they're too expensive for me to justify spending on a coffee mug. So it's a big box. Let me show you. It's a big box. We've got bubble wrap, which I'm actually going to save. I'm not going to take out all these peanuts, they're annoying, but we've got here a 4-ouncer of blueberry blast cake. I normally don't get the 4-ouncers. I got some of them, but normally I get the big bags. Mint and berries from Chocolate Space, which is legitimately my favorite flavor of theirs. I don't feel like I can taste the flavors of coffee very well when it's just in the grounds. I just don't really have that kind of ability. But this one, you make this and you put a little bit of even dry chocolate coffee mate creamer in here. It's gorgeous. We have Jamaican Me Crazy. We have, this is the one for the Bones Lab. So this was a free one that I got. So it's a very specific scent. I have no idea what that is. The last one that I got that was a Bones Labs one, I never figured out what it was, but it was delicious. So these are all kind of frozen because it's cold outside, but they'll thaw out. We've got Macamaniac. God, they smell so good all the time. Holy shit. We've got our full-size bags. I picked up a Army of dark chocolate one. Jesus, that's strong. I picked up here's What the Fluff. Fruity, weird, cotton candy, very sweet. Another 4-ouncer. I picked up fudge, which is hazelnut and fudge. Oh, that smells good. That one's nice. I did pick up another. Oh no, this is white chocolate peppermint bark. I don't know, not quite as strong as my favorite, which I did pick up a full-size bag of. I did pick up a full-size bag of mint and berries from Chocolate Space because it is my favorite. So, as well as I think this is my last coffee, French toasty. I've never had the grounds. They do have this one in latte form. So we'll see how it goes. I believe that's all of the coffee. Yeah, okay. Then this would be the mug. We'll just cut into here. Now, this mug is a little stupid, but it was free. And I was literally already there with the amount of coffee I was purchasing. I didn't purchase extra coffee to get this mug. I just already had enough in my cart. So it's kind of fun. It is that's heavy. SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom Brew mug. It's a heavy fucker. So that is this little unboxing. Like I said, 0 days. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to try and finish it tomorrow. I don't think it'll get done tonight. Just based on, I guess it is only 4:30, but just based on how it's going, I don't think it's going to get done tonight. If I had to hazard a guess as to what I would rate it right now, I would say 2 stars. It's just fine. I'm just not a big thriller person, I guess. The same thing as action movies, they don't have that pizzazz, right? I don't know. That's everything. I gotta put all this stuff away, and I will talk to you when something exciting happens or when I finish that book. We'll see. I need to show you the snowdrift that we have directly in front of our apartment building, like front door. It is insane. I went for a walk yesterday. It was not here. We're in a blizzard. Kind of love it now that I don't have a car to take photos. Hi, 200 pages in on 0 days. It's still a nothing book, and I have no feelings about it. It is at the very least quick. Like I said, like I don't skim books. I don't. I know I read a lot, and so a lot of people, when people read a lot, people are like, oh, they obviously skim. I don't skim. If I skimmed a book, it would be this one. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It's not bad, I suppose. Like it doesn't. I don't hate my time reading it. I just know that I could be reading something I cared about, and I'm not. And I know that this is a good reason to DNF, but I don't DNF because who knows? You know what? Maybe in this next chapter, uh, Ware is going to introduce a character that I care so much about. But I don't really care about the mystery here. Like I read The Woman in Cabin 10 and I liked it well enough. I thought it was entertaining, but I think my tastes have evolved a bit, and I think I'm a better reader now than I was even 6 years ago. So, but 200 pages in, which is if I update my story graph. Oh, look at that! I'm taking you with me. 57% of the way through. I should be able to finish today. I hope so. Hi, good morning. I thought I would update because I am 110 pages into 0 days now. It is how much the story, what's my percentage? What is my percentage? That would be 31% of the way through. I hope to finish today. It's really dull. Like I understand like there's like some like intrigue or whatever, but again, like I don't think I'm a thriller person the same way I'm not an action movie person. Like I don't care about these people. The plot's not interesting enough to keep me going. Like there's not enough conceptually, it's not interesting enough. But I'll finish it. It's fine. It's fine. It works. I finished it. I finished it 0 days. Again, a nothing book, a predictable nothing book. That man was suspicious from the minute we met him. Man, like, I do think that if I had not already posted my worst books of the year list, this might be on there. I was so confident that I have no more books that were like bad. And this, I guess this wasn't a bad book, okay? It wasn't a bad book, but it wasn't good. I think we're settling on it too. I'm spin my wheel and hopefully it'll be nice to me because I've got some prompts that are really like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get that done. Okay. I thought this was going to be a tough one because it's difficult to find a specific word in a title. And this is for my quote, one burning is no answer. And I guess technically this is answers, but it's close enough that I'm counting it. No Easy Answers: The Truth Behind Death at Columbine by Brooks Brown and Rob Merritt. This is a true crime book about Columbine partially by one of the friends of Eric Harrison, Dylan Klebold. So, what a cheery book to finish out the year on. I might read more than this one, depending. It depends on how fast it is. It looks like it's got pretty big text, so it might not take me very long. Don't know exactly how much I'm going to read before the end of the year. Um, this could be my last book of the year, though, which is again very cheerful. So, hi, hello. I wanted to hold on a minute here. That'll do. Update you on how I'm feeling about No Easy Answers: The Truth Behind Death at Columbine by Brooks Brown and Rob Merritt. I am 21% of the way through. So that's about 59 pages. So I was interested in this one because I was interested to see what kind of take it would have. Because Brooks Brown, if you didn't know, was one of the friends of Eric Harrison, Dylan Klebold. He was closer with Dylan. So we do see again, which we see in a lot of Columbine books, that Dylan is often absolved of a lot more than Eric is. And I think that's true for a couple of reasons. First up, a lot of the book, Dylan was in the community for longer. Like Eric Harris was not really in the community until he was in high school. Brooks Brown was literally Dylan Klebold's childhood friend. Like they in first grade was when they met. And another one of our big Columbine books was written by Dylan Klebold's mother. Um, so I think when people are talking about them, so even people like Dave Cullen, who wasn't personally involved in the community, I think there's probably more good to say about Dylan Klebold just because he was around longer. I think another reason that is because I'm sorry, I get my thesis right now. Is Eric Harris was the match and Dylan Klebold was the gasoline. So if you pour gasoline on the ground, it's not great, but it's not going to start a fire. You can start a fire without gasoline, but with gasoline, it's worse. So Dylan Klebold was the spark. He's who kind of kicked it off. I don't think it would have been as bad without Dylan Klebold. Um, so that's just my 2 cents. Um, so yes, he is a little bit more. He's got more good things to say about Klebold. I think just because he was a childhood friend of his. He's very clearly taken out of the running. He's very much like, no, it was not the fucking video games because he was playing the video games with them. I didn't think he would talk about the video games. It is looking like it's going to be a bullying one, or it's talking about how it was because of bullying. I think that was the narrative for a long time, and then sometime in the 2010s, people were like, no, they were actually bullies. I think that both things can be true. I mean, people have talked about how in the 90s that high school was really awful for bullying. And so I think it's probably likely that two kind of awkward, freaky guys who really liked computers would probably get bullied. Um, I think it's also true that people who have a lot of anger from being bullied are probably going to lash out and bully other people too. So I think both things are probably true. So yeah, I think that the bullying is where we're going to see most of Brown's thesis. He also is talking a lot about the teachers and how the teachers didn't help anything, which is interesting. I know as a teacher myself, I have absolutely sorry. I've got a bunch of dry skin like right here on my finger, and it's distracting me. I've absolutely seen teachers who really cannot handle kids who don't fit in their specific boxes. And as a teacher, I try my best to help with those kids and allow them to be themselves while still maintaining order, which can be a struggle because some kids who are themselves are disruptive when they're being themselves. So it's a fine line we walk. But I know that there's a teacher that I've worked with who she cannot handle kids who are weird. And so obviously those teachers do exist, and there are teachers who exist because there are teachers who are teachers because it is a way to get some easy power. um but I think that it's just interesting. It's not something I've read before in Columbine mythos was talking about teachers. So that was interesting. That's interesting. That's an interesting point. But no, Columbine was like my first true crime case that I got really into. So I do know a lot. I've watched all the movies based on it. If you want a ranking, Zero Day is the best. Zero Day goes on top. It's probably Zero Day. I know that Class isn't really based on Columbine. It's I think it's a Polish film. But Class is probably under Zero Day. Everybody in the Letterbox reviews who watch Class are like, go watch Elephant, watch Zero Day instead. So probably Class next. After that, controversial opinion, and I'm not a Christian, but that what was it called? Oh, it was made by Pureflix, and it was about Rachel, whatever her name was. I think that one's better than the other ones I'm going to talk about. What's it? Oh my god. Columbine movie. What was it called? I'm not ashamed. I think that one's better than. I think that's better than Elephant. Um, I'm sorry, Guy, but I watched. I'm sorry, Gus Van Sant, but not every Columbine is one thing you didn't need to make gay. Okay. Um, I will say though, it's probably next is probably Elephant. And then Heart of America. Heart of America is really trying to do a lot for shock value's sake and not even in an artistic way like Gus Van Sant did in Elephant. So that's where I sit there. Watch Zero Day, it's the best one. Um, so that is that. I will update you when I have something else to say. But yeah, no, it's an interesting read so far. Um, yeah, that is everything. Goodbye. So I finished No Easy Answers: The Truth Behind Death at Columbine by Brooks Brown and Rob Merritt. So with this book, we do have these italicized parts are Merritt's stuff, I believe, and all the stuff that's not in italics, unless it's like a direct quote, is um what Brown wrote. It's part memoir, part call to action. It's a real heavy fucking book to read at the end of the year. I'm going to tell you that. Brooks Brown was, if you weren't aware, and if you didn't watch the first clip I had of this, Brooks Brown was one of Dylan Klebold's like best friends from the age of like 6. Um, and there's a really interesting quote that I want to read here, near the end here. I knew Dylan long enough to know that he didn't start out as a monster. He became one. That's what makes his fate so scary. The next Dylan could be your son, your neighbor, your best friend. Not some faceless, anonymous killer who comes out of the dark and snatches your loved ones. A regular person who faces the cruelty of the real world just like the rest of us, and in whom something erodes away over time. So, just like most of the other Columbine books, which I think I mentioned earlier, this one is way more sympathetic toward Klebold than it is toward Harris. Because again, similarly to A Mother's Reckoning, there were more positive feelings toward Dylan Klebold, and also Dylan Klebold wasn't the one who made a website about how much he wanted to kill the author of this book, so I'm sure that also helped. Um, whenever I read a Columbine book, because I've read quite a few of them, I always like to see what um, angle they're going to take. And this is one that definitely goes in hard on the bullying angle. And as I think I mentioned earlier, in about the 2010s, there was a big kind of backlash against that angle. And at the back of this book, you kind of see that started earlier. Um, where Brown mentions that there was a teacher who had said that they bullied more kids than they've ever been bullied, or something like that. And I say again, I think that two things can be true at once. I think that it is definitely incredibly probable that they were not well treated, especially given the general culture that seemed to have been around at this school. I think it's also possible that they probably took out some anger on some younger kids. I could see that happening too. Um, what I thought was interesting though was that not only did Brown talk about the bullying, but he talked about the reaction to the bullying. As a teacher, this is what really hit. And again, I know I talked about this earlier, but I finished the book now, so I have more complete thoughts. um, there is absolutely there are teachers have favorites. You know, it is what it is. And I, as a teacher, it and granted, I teach elementary now. I teach 5th grade. But it is so clear that 90%, 99% of the kids that we see as troublemakers really are just looking for positive attention. They're I do very well with a lot of problematic students because I just accept them as they are and treat them with respect. And there are a lot of teachers who don't do that. There are a lot of teachers who get very frustrated when students don't fit to the boxes that they have assigned them into, because teachers are human and a lot of people have trouble with people who don't fit into the boxes of which they are assigned. And that hit really hard for me. I also was interesting also looking at the police stuff, how the police reacted. They were a fucking mess, y'all. And granted, this is a very biased nonfiction account, because when you are in a tragedy, like explicitly in a tragedy, you are going to have some biases as a human. Um, and as well as that, when you are so young, this book came out in 2002. 2002. So Brooks Brown was oldest, like absolute oldest. He was 22 when this book came out. I think he was probably 21. So he probably wrote it when he was his parts when he was 20. 20-year-olds are so young, and I'm saying somebody as a 28-year-old, thinking about myself as a 20-year-old and how against the world I felt all the time. Still feel sometimes. Depends on the time of the month. It's a fun time. But whenever like reading a lot of these, it does read like a 20-year-old trying to make sense of things, and clearly a very intelligent 20-year-old who is doing his best in a lot of ways. um but yeah, no, I think it's an interesting book, really. And I think a lot of people would discredit it because he was such close friends with Dylan Klebold. But I do think that the most interesting true crime books, and I don't know if you could, this isn't like a true crime book, but it is. The most interesting ones are ones written by people who had a hand or were actually experiencing the things that were happening, or that had some kind of tangential relationships. That's why when they read And Then They Were Gone, which was written by a couple of people who had taught some of the Jonestown kids. Or that's why Anne Rule's best book is The Stranger Beside Me, because she knew Ted Bundy. Those are always the best ones because you can tell that they really feel for the subject, and it feels less exploitative and it feels more exploratory. Um, so yeah, it was an interesting one. Like I said, a really heavy book to end the year on. But I still have 2 days really. On the 21st, on the 31st is when I'm going to end this, because I always, and I'll explain this later, but I always kind of end the month a day before. So on the 31st is when I'm going to end this. It is the 29th right now. So depending on what book I get next, I could finish one or two more books in this vlog. I hope it's something cheerful. It's not cheerful. It's not cheerful. This is not cheerful. Um, I hope it's something cheerful. I hope it's something quick and fun. So let's go and spin that wheel of her kid prompts to see where we're going next. I hope it's not Littleton, Colorado. I know I have other Columbine books in the book wall, but you know what? One's enough. Are you kidding me? So the wheel heard me say, I hope it's not Colorado, and decided on World War II. Mailman came. I have more stuff to unbox. I have not really started X Troop yet. I since I finished the Brooks Brown one, I'm like, I read my book for the day. So I don't think it's very likely that I'm going to be finishing anything other than X Troop this year. But I do have books, well, packages. I'm just assuming books to unbox. So let's uh let's get into that. All right. First up, we've got teeny little. These I actually like the size of the boxes because they're really good for when I'm selling stuff on eBay. um, so this one we've got Mort by Terry Pratchett. This is another one of my. I bought up a couple of Discworld books before the new year, and my conceivable book buying ban. So I did pick up Mort. Um, this is some I bought directly from the author off of TikTok Shop. So I bought two of them because it was another one of those situations where it's like, if I buy two, I will have enough to get free shipping, and then it was almost more expensive to have to not have free shipping. So picked up two books here. They're by Kit Vincent. Oh, I thought they were up together. They were not. The first one is Us, Etc., which is the add-on that I had. Oh, look at that. Little card and a little sticker. I'm going to use them as bookmarks. The other one is the one that I picked up for because I've seen so many ads about it. It was the same thing that happened with Bent and Break Him. That is Love Immortal, which is a vampire one. And we also have that's so cute. That's adorable. Sometimes I feel like in the new year I should get into selling my books on TikTok or something like that, because especially with my new covers. Anyway, this is the art that came with this one that I'm going to be using as bookmarks. So there are those. We've got another Amazon one, which is Boys in Oil by Taylor Brorby, which I picked up because this author is from North Dakota. He grew up in Center. He grew up gay, and I was interested in reading that. It is a um, nonfiction. It's a memoir. It just seemed interesting. Okay. All right. So then I have my book outlet box, which I made a book outlet order right at the on my last when I was finishing up my last project for grad school, which is more financially stable than the bookshop.org order at the same time, which is what I had been doing previously. So I feel like what I need to do is save one of my dumb shit purchases for finals week every year. Although I'm thinking about getting Fun Masters after I'm done with this one, but I'm gonna say I've got 2 semesters left, so not much longer. Anyway, got. Oh my god, I hate the new book outlet boxes. By the way, they suck hard. They're really annoying. Anyway, what I got here, oh my god, this is huge. Age Matters Volume 1. This is a webtoon. I haven't had the best of luck with webtoons, but this one looks like a cute one, so hopefully it's okay. I picked up Reinventing Love by Mona Charlotte. How the Patriarchy Sabotages Heterosexual Relations, which just seems like an interesting, like a pop psychology one. We've got The French Art of Living Well, Finding Joie de Vivre in Everyday World by Kathy Yandel. Except because it's Frenchy. And I did get some, what's the word? Stockholm Syndrome from taking French for 8 years. Picked up The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells, science fiction masterworks, trying to really do the classics of sci-fi to get into it. It's been working well so far. Picked up Timon of Athens by Shakespeare. I haven't read this one. This is not one that I had to read for school, and I have found that as an adult, Shakespeare is a lot more enjoyable. So, it is what it is. There's some paper. The Prisoner's Thrown by Holly Black. This is the second one in the second trilogy. I have read The Cruel Prince, and that's about it. But How the King of Elfham Learned to Hate Stories is on my January TBR, so got that. And then got Napoleon's Plunder and the Theft of Veronise's Feast. I picked this up because I had Napoleon in the name. This is a historical situation here, art, that sort of thing. And then the last thing we have is another Amazon box. We'll see what it is. Okay. Not very full, that's what it is. It is a couple of things here. This goes for the school. This is for something else. And this is Box Hill by Adam Mars Jones, which is what Pillion was based on. So that is that. That is that little unboxing there. What do I have still coming? I have I have some more books coming yet, mostly my own new covers. I don't think I'm going to be able to order Right or Wrong before the new year. I just got the cover. It's beautiful. Here it is. But I just think based on everything, I don't think I'm going to be able to order it until the next year, which means it's going to be taking up one of my slots. So I'm going to have an Amazon order in the new year. It's what the thing of that is. But yeah, that is everything. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. I am about 100 pages into X Troop, 104 pages. It's interesting. So World War II is not my thing. When it comes to historical things, I feel like World War II has just never been what I've been interested in. I don't know. It's obviously very, you know what I'm gonna do? That. It's obviously, a very important thing that happened, very tragic thing that happened, but it is really one of the only things that you learn about when you're growing up. You learn about as an American, you learn about the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and World War II. So it's never been my thing. But this is interesting because it's stuff that I hadn't heard about. Like I had no idea about any of this at all. We're focusing in on uh, Jewish teenagers, basically, who escaped Germany and other places like Austria, ended up in Britain, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here. It's interesting. It is interesting. I'm liking it. I'm liking how um personal she's making it. She's even found like pictures of a lot of them. So like in one chapter I just read, see, we spend a lot of time like there's Colin Anson, who we hear a lot about. He was a problem. It's hilarious. Uh, there's Peter Masters and Manfred Gray, Gans, probably Gans. He's German, who was like super brilliant and a really good runner, and Ron Gilbert, who we don't hear a lot about. Peter was an artist. No, it's interesting. I'm interested to see how it kind of develops. I know that some of these guys absolutely died during the war, so that's going to be sad. But no, that's where we're at right now. Hi, I'm feeling the urge to rebuild the book wall, but what I have right now is a bit of an unboxing for the vlog. So this is a CD. I picked it up off of eBay, and this is one of my, well, primarily my tastes reside in a quite emo area, really. I love Blue Oyster Cult. Blue Oyster Cult, and The Who. I got this one because it has Godzilla on it. I love that song. So here we go. Is this on? Yeah, okay. These are some books. My new covers shipped for some of my new books. Not all of them. I just got right or wrong in. It's beautiful. But the other three did ship, but they're not in here because they just shipped. But in here we've got Crash Chest by Amy James. Everybody's been talking about Crash Chest by Amy James. Everybody, and it's been on my recommended list forever. So I figured I would finally pick it up. I also grabbed Never Been Kissed by Timothy Janowski. Final. And we'll see what we got going on here. Oh, wait, I know what this is. This is, so I went and I ordered all of them, but they're coming back into stock. But Role Model did come in. So this is, now I've got 3 out of the 6. The other ones are coming at some point. So this plus this, I'm feeling the urge to rebuild the book wall and remake my book wall spreadsheet. I know that is a massive fucking undertaking. It's 3 p.m. Could I get it done? I mean, I could. It would be about 10 before I was done. Maybe even longer, though, because if I'm not just rebuilding, but also making a spreadsheet, I'm probably not going to. I'm feeling the urge, though. I really, 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 really kind of feel like I want to, but that is that. I will talk to you later. How is X Troop going? It's going fine. I think my original being enamored with it is kind of gone now. It's good. I'm probably gonna end up with a 3.5, 4-star. I do still intend on finishing it today, but I might just grab a book from my January TBR afterwards. I think that once I finish X Troop, that's gonna mark the end of this vlog. So it is what it is. But yeah, that is that. I'm gonna put these where they need to go. I will talk to you later. Probably when I finish X Troop. Goodbye. To the end of this end of the reading vlog, I just finished up X Troop. It is December 30th. Tomorrow is the 31st. I know it's been a lot shorter than my other ones because I used to do the entirety of Christmas break until the new year, but I had other stuff going on, so we had just a couple of days here where I read 3 books. I think overall, this was an interesting one. Like I think I said previously, World War II is not my bread and butter when it comes to historical things. Uh, but it was interesting. I think out of the three that I read, oh no, four. Library at Hellbore. It was last week, so I'm not thinking about it. Library at Hellbore is definitely my favorite, and then it probably went No Easy Answers, X Troop, and then 0 Days. So yeah, that's that. I finished out 2025 at 294 books, which means next year my goal will be 295. I don't know. I have a bit of a problem with people with everybody jumping on the bandwagon of no, guys, we need to slow down. We're doing things. We're just rushing through things. I'm like, man, get good. Like I'm not rushing through things. I'm just a fast reader, and quite frankly, I don't have enough time to slow down. I think that I understand the want to push against hustle culture invading our hobbies, but I've always been this way. This isn't a recent phenomenon for me. Um, so no, I will not be having a lower reading goal this next coming year. Come on. No, I want to read more every year. Come on. It's about building skills. Anyway, um that is that. This is my official last book of 2025. I will talk to you later. And goodbye.